talk news and sports station. This is the Morning Crossfire
with FemiDlive.
Mr. Kola Ologbondiyan, thanks for joining. Welcome to the show this very morning.
Thank you very much, Femi. Good morning, Nigeria.
Yes, good morning to you. Let's start off this conversation by reviewing the People's Democratic Party evaluation of democracy under your team, under your political party, and also what the All Progressive Congress has achieved now. Let's start from there. What's your evaluation?
Well, if you look at where we are coming from, I think life was far, far, far better than where we are today. Between 1999 and 2015, when the People's Democratic Party left office, the governments that were formed under the People's Democratic Party was busy building structure and laying foundation for economic development. And between 1999 and 2015, we had achieved a lot. We revolutionized the banking sector. We revolutionized the telecommunication. We ensured that the ordinary Nigerians had a feel of what is it to have government. You had your freedom. We didn't have a situation where entire newspapers in Nigeria would block their front page in protest against against the determination of a government to strangulate free speech. We didn't have that. So, looking backwards, I think that the situation of our nation is worsening compared to where we are coming from.
What are the indicators you're looking at to say, well, the situation is getting worse?
Even the standard of living in the first place. Nigerians were living better than we are. In the area of security, I've heard people say, oh, there was insecurity under PDP. But before the PDP left office in 2015, insecurity was prevalent in the Northeast. This was fought vehemently by the People's Democratic Party administration of Goodluck Jonathan. And bandits and insurgents were fought to the fringes of the Northeast in such a manner that elections held in every part of the Northeast and results were declared in 2015. And at the time even President Goodluck Jonathan left office in 2015, the bombing of soft targets had gone down. And we didn't have a situation in which insurgents and bandits were attacking military formation prior to 2015. But where are we today? The entire nation is in turmoil.
But some say as well, the way the PDP's led government at the time handled the issue of insecurity is what laid the framework for how intense and difficult things are today.
But you must understand, Nigerians must also quickly remember too, that what we had, particularly between 2014 and 2015, was brigandage from the All Progressives Congress. They were not interested in nation building. And that is why every step that was taken by the People's Democratic Administration of Goodluck Jonathan to secure our nation was vehemently opposed by the All Progressives Congress. For instance, when mercenaries were invited, what did we hear from the APC? Oh, they said they have gone to bring people that will kill them. But in spite of that, through the use of mercenaries, the People's Democratic Administration of Goodluck Jonathan fought the insurgents to the fringes. And I insist, as of 2015, when this nation was handed over to President Buhari, we didn't have the level of insecurity that we have across the 6 zones of the Federation. That's the situation we have in our country too.
But one of the build-up from what the All Progressive Congress, the party of the president, often says is the fact that money that should have gone to proper security architecture building was taken by corrupt leaders, corrupt politicians affiliated to your political party. So I wonder, does that mean that we are in this situation?
So Femi, how many people are in jail on account of the fund that they are talking about? Because, if you recall, in the People's Democratic Party between 1999 and 2015, any member of the party who is found wanting in the area of corruption or in any form of misdemeanor that was bordering on corruption, they were reported, they were investigated, and they were prosecuted.
Like who was prosecuted?
Who was not prosecuted? Name them. Just name anybody that you know.
Because it's really it's difficult to remember who was indicted or jailed.
Even President Olusegun Obasanjo took his friend, his personal friend, SM Afolabi, for prosecution.
Does that mean the PDP under Obasanjo was a little bit different under Goodluck?
You see, Nigerians, we must try not to forget in a hurry what we had lived, the life we have lived, what we had witnessed. All the governors that the APC claimed to be jailing today were taken to court under the People's Democratic Administration. Name one person in APC. Just one name of a member of APC who had been found wanting. All the crimes that were committed, all the looting that were done in FIRS, all the looting that were done in NEMA. As a matter of fact, we don't even need to drag this too much. Because President Muhammadu Buhari has come out to tell Nigerians that rather than prosecute corruption offenders, that he finds a way of easing them out.
So let me ask you this question with regards to people from your political party, the PDP. I mean, there's been a wave of defections at the governorship level and also among lawmakers. And one would anchor that a little bit on what one of the former APC chieftains has said. Once you come to the APC, you're forgiven. Do you think some of your governors and some of your lawmakers are seeking covering and also seeking being able to access resources? That is why they are going to the APC. Because just yesterday, the president welcomed at least 4 governors, if I'm not mistaken, or thereabouts, in the State House yesterday to welcoming them to the party.
Femi, I like the fact that you have even jacked up the number of governors that left our party.
And the number is going to be up.
No, you jacked it up now in order to be able to fit into the language of will, of Gale, and all the adjectives that are being used to describe the situation in the People's Democratic Party. We had 17 governors at the close of election in 2019. I think about they forcefully took Imo State from us. Then, in the last few months, we had a situation of about 3 governors decamping from the party. But what do you read in the media? Gale of defection.
I mean, considering the number of governors you have and the numbers that
if you have 16 governors, so to say, and 3 governors left, and we had 15 governors and 3 governors left, and we have 12 left out of 15. Is that a gale? With due respect, and where I'm not supporting in any way that governors are defected from our party, but it's not a gale. 3 out of 15. You still have 12. But that's not a gale. Now, having said that, you ask me why are governors leaving, and I will give you the simple reason, and which you have also put on the line for me. It is seeking protection from misdemeanor that they must have committed. Nothing more, because there's no crisis of any sort.
So let me understand you. You are saying that they're leaving. I mean, if I were to put your sentence in a better perspective for understanding, you're saying they're leaving the PDP in order to seek protection in the APC, in order to cover up.
Because the former chairman has said that no matter the sin you have committed against Nigerians, no matter what we have done,
does that mean the PDP governors were committing sin against
the people that wants to come into the All Progressives Congress? All those things are forgiven. And as you know, Femi, what is happening now is that our governors are being harassed, they are being intimidated, they are being coerced, using the instrumentality of the state. And what do? They first send the FCC to their states and say that they are investigating these governors. And the moment they say they are investigating their governors, they begin the political process of going after them and saying, look, we have so and so against you. It's in your own interest to come and join us. If you join us, all your sins are forgiven. That's one angle. Another angle is that they're also telling our governors that it is better you come and join the All Progressives Congress. Because there will be no election in 2023. We are just going to write results.
So that's what you think?
It's not what I think. It's the intelligence that the party is getting.
If I may ask, the intelligence that you're getting, can you act on them?
Well, whether we can act or not is immaterial, but we need to put it in the public domain. Let Nigerians know. So what other evidence do we need than the plan by the All Progressives Congress to stall the electronic transmission of results that has been put in the INEC bill?
Let's come to elections. I mean, we've seen quite a number of bills make its way in the last 2 months for review. Some, of course, getting to the level of controversy. The PIB bill, controversial. Electoral Amendment Bill, getting controversial. Amendment of the NPC-NBC Act, also controversial. But let's talk about elections. You're a political party registered in Nigeria. They talk about the Electoral Amendment Bill, and there are quite a number of issues that relates to that amendment and of interest. In fact, even the nomination of commissioners into INEC has generated controversy. Later on today, we would find out the fate of Loretta Onoche, who is the candidate nominated by the president as an INEC commissioner. Are you concerned?
The People's Democratic Party is very concerned on the nomination of Loretta Onoche as a commissioner in INEC and on the plot to remove transmission of results. Because it's strange to reasoning that you can say that election can be conducted electronically, but results must not be collated electronically. It doesn't appeal to anybody's logic. And about amendment to that bill, the People's Democratic Party, using our members in the parliament, and also speaking to Nigerians across party lines to understand that the fact you are in party A today does not mean that you submit your rights totally to the party. Because tomorrow, events might happen that will force you out of that party. If you have submitted your right to free, fair, credible, and transparent election, how are you going to recover from it? The implication of allowing that section 52 to pass is that what it means is that if you have a problem with your party, you believe you can win an election, and you sought nomination in your party, and you didn't find it, you want to try on another party, whether you can find them, whether you can be allowed. Then the system will just write results against you. That's the implication of that section. Because we have tried transmission of results from the unit. But Nigerians need to understand this in every election. That when you vote at the polling unit, results are collated at the polling unit. It is transferred electronically to the collation center. That helps us that reduces thuggery. That saves the report process from the manipulations that politicians do. Do you understand it? And at the end of the day, we have something near or close to perfection in our electoral But because they know it as a fact, that they will have nothing to show to Nigerians in 2023. They want to rig the election even before we get to 2023.
So you're saying, I mean, you alluded when your candidate Atiku Abubakar went to court, even up to the Supreme Court, on the basis of the fact that there were numbers that were transmitted different from the paperwork numbers that eventually emerged from the elections. But let's go on to another subject of interest now. Let's talk about rotational presidency. That becomes quite interesting because it's now the North having a perspective, the South having a perspective. I wonder, does the PDP have a perspective to who should lead the country at any point in time? And is such an arrangement good enough for our democracy?
Well, you must understand that in the People's Democratic Party, in the constitution of the People's Democratic Party, zoning is enshrined, North and South. That's what our constitution says. That's the party's constitution. But for us in the People's Democratic Party, we have not reached the point in which we zone or we have zoned the presidency. So whatever you are hearing now, there are conversations that will help the party to build its decision on which side of the divide it will go.
Okay, so that means the party would either settle for the North or the Southern candidates.
Don't also forget that there was a committee put up by the party. There was the first committee put up to review, I think, the 2015 election, which was chaired by Senator Ike Ekweremadu, which made recommendations. There was also another committee put up to review the 2019 election. Yes, I think 2019 election, chaired by Senator Bala Mohammed, the governor of Bauchi State, which come up with a suggestion that, well, the clarion call among Nigerians is that the next president should come from either the northeast or the southeast, but that in the opinion, in the wisdom of the committee, they suggest that the presidential candidate of the party should be left open. The party has not taken a decision. So all these are conversations, like I said, that will help the party to build the direction in which it will.
You're a politician. You know quite a number of politicians across the country. I mean, for the purpose of Nigerians who are listening in to us right now, who probably want to start to think about the decision they would make with regards to rotational presidency, what would be your thinking to them? I mean, what should be the guiding notes for them when it comes to, north, south, as the debates continue to get intense ahead of 2023?
Well, you must understand that I speak to the decisions taken by the People's Democratic Party. That's the responsibility, the purview of my office. I cannot on my own make declarations that this is what the party will do, this is the direction the party will go.
Not even to suggest to Nigerians how they should.
But what I know for certain is that everything that Nigerians are listening to now, everything that Nigerians are hearing now, are conversations that will help the party to build its decision.
Let's get into some of the key points being made by the South group now, and also the points being made by some of the northern groups with regards to politics in Nigeria. In fact, as of this morning, quite a number of people from the southern part of the country, the region where we have quite a number of politicians, they are suggesting that we are federating units at regional level, which takes us back a little bit just after independence, where it was, just before independence, where we had quite a number of regional governors taking place. Do you think Nigeria needs regional governance and a federating unit that is now rated federal, regional, states, local government?
Well, to me, and I believe I can say this on behalf of generality of a large opinion in the People's Democratic Party, I think Nigerians believe in a generality of our members are of the opinion that if we come back to power, we will look in the direction of true federalism. Will devolve more power to the states than the center. I think that's the opinion. That appears to be a large opinion in the People's Democratic Party. But on the issue of regionalism, I'm not on the going back to the regions. I do not understand. I don't think that that opinion is a strong.
It's a strong one. But what do you think? We have regional problems. Now we're getting to use the word unknown gunmen. For the last 3 months we used it. Now we're saying, there's terrorists in some part of the region of the country, northeast, and also getting in. But in the northwest, it's more bandits, kidnappers that are prevailing in that part of the country. And then when you think about the southwest, you're talking about killer herdsmen. And we're seeing groups that are some sort of threats per region, taking on issues as we go. And what's your take on that? Do you think that issue of security threat should be addressed one per region as one would have? Because we have Amotekun in the southwest.
We are not practicing regionalism in Nigeria. What we are doing
Why can't we practice regionalism?
What we are doing is federalism. And that is why our party, like I said earlier, believes in true federalism, and by this we mean devolution of more powers to the state and perhaps even to the local government. You understand? But if you ask me questions about regionalism, since that's not what's operational for now, it remains suggestions from Nigerians. But I believe that for us and for my party, we are driving towards true federalism if we come back to power.
Let's talk about...
when we come back to power.
Oh, okay. All right, let's talk about constitution amendment, which is going on right now. And one of the biggest concerns will have to be some of the fundamental things that make up Nigerian constitution, including freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of association, and the likes of that. I mean, almost any Nigerian may not even know where it is in the constitution, but they get a good grasp of, I can speak, I can associate, I can express myself, but in recent times, I listened to the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, recently speak about the fact that even all these things are fundamentally laid out in the constitutions. If I will put it in any other way, it means that there are conditionalities that allow them to work or not work.
There are no conditionalities for freedom. And that's why when some people in Nigeria come up to say that, PDP and APC are the same, I often disagree. And I have a responsibility also to disagree with them. People's Democratic Party administration in Nigeria respected rights of Nigerians. We believe in equity. We believe in justice. we believe in freedom. And that's why we are Democrats in Nigeria. And if you look at the process of our formation, the two parties differ. For instance, those who brought PDP into life said that Nigerians were tired of military rule. So they came together and said, look, military, go back to the barracks. They confronted the military, and we had this democracy in 1999. How did APC came into life? APC came into life by lying.
What did they lie about? I'm trying to...
By saying that, oh, the situation in Nigeria is so terrible, so we need to take Nigerians to an El Dorado, knowing fully well that they were taking Nigerians to a journey to nowhere.
But we have challenges at some point in time.
Yes, we have challenges. But what have they done? What has the APC and its government done to correct the challenges today? Nothing. They don't even have the process and direction of what governance should be. And that is why today we have all manner of governance deficits. You understand? So even from our formation, we differ. So as a party that had been in government, we respected rights of Nigerians. But what do we find today? Model of information are being tackled. You are no longer free to express yourself. Palpable fears wherever you turn. Injustices, mere protests, that's the right. Being abrogated. So in whatever area you look at, you will see clearly that the People's Democratic Party is not the same thing as the All Progressives Congress.